meeting to order and ask our chaplain and people to open our meeting with prayer.
Let us pray. Father God, we just thank you for this day, dear Lord, and thank you for all the blessings. Ask now, dear Lord, you just bless each of us that come today. And dear Lord, we ask you to just touch us and draw us closer to you. Dear Lord, we ask you to touch Rod and Turner, one of our council members, he's struggling at home with some health problems. We ask you now, dear Lord, to give us the wisdom and the knowledge to make decisions that be pleasing in your sight. I touch our county and bless us in a mighty way. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Floyd. Freedom of Information announcement. In accordance with South Carolina Code of Law 1976 as amended, the Marion Star Mullins Enterprise has been notified of the date, time, place, and agenda of this meeting. We need an approval for the minutes dated October 24th.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. The ayes have it. Item 5, recess the regular meeting, open a public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. The ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of council, those in attendance. We have one item for public hearing this morning. This is for ordinance 2024-16. To authorize the sale of timber located on portions of a number of Marion County tax parcels. It's on the agenda. I don't want to read all that now because I'm gonna have to read it again in a minute. To the highest bidders of various future bids to be awarded by the county to set the sales price for the timber of each parcel, and the high bidder awards by future resolution of county to authorize county administrator or the chairman of county council to execute any and all documents for the sale of timber and authorize all of them others related thereto. Anybody in attendance that wishes to speak for or against this ordinance? Hearing none, that will conclude our necessity of a public hearing.
Thank you. We need to leave our regular meeting and go. No, we need to leave our open public hearing and go back to our regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion?
Aye.
All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. The ayes have it. Resolution.
Members of council, we have, this is our standard, resolution that we do whenever we start a fee in lieu. This project is actually something that has already come up and we've approved. We've done the same inducement resolution before. The project just didn't get a whole lot of traction with power companies, and moving it forward. So they are back again to start all over. So we do need to take action on this. And Mr. Chairman, I believe, this is one you would be recused from. You recall that on Eddie?
Okay.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
second. Let the record reflect that I abstained voting on this issue. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. The ayes have it.
That's all I have.
Ordinance.
We have a number of items. Well, we have one second reading, one third reading. So I'll start with item A, second reading of ordinance 2024-15. You have a full copy of that in front of you. This is an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a fee in lieu of agricultural tax and incentive agreement by and between Marion County, South Carolina, and a company known to the county as Project Delta, acting for itself, one or more affiliates, and other project sponsors to provide for a fee in lieu of agricultural taxes, certain infrastructure credits, and other incentives to include the project within the boundaries of the multi-county park, to modify building permit and review fees consistent with the foregoing and other matters related thereto. Take action on second reading, please.
So moved. Second.
Motion second, discussion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. The ayes have it.
Item B, this is third reading of ordinance 2024-16. to authorize the sale of timber located on portions of Marion County tax parcel numbers 055-00-00-021-000, 055-00-00-216-000, 055-00-127-000, 055-00-00-008-000, 055-00-00-026-000, 070-00-00-018-000, 070-00-00-064-000, 070-00-00-072-000, 069-00-00-007-000, 069-00-00-008 000, 069-00-00-009 000, 046-00-00-209 000, 046-00-00-210 000, and 057-07-00-075-000. That's why I didn't want to read all that twice. Yep. The highest bidders of various future bids to award for the county, awarded by the county to set the sales price of the timber on each parcel. For the high bidder awards by future resolution of the county. We authorize the county administrator or the county chairman of county council to execute any and all documents for the sale of timber and to authorize all of the matters related thereto to effectuate the timber sales. We need to take action on that. You've had a copy of that since second reading as well.
So move.
Second.
Does anybody need it reread?
Please.
Got a motion second, any discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise? Guys have it.
We have two items for first reading. Just to remind you and those in attendance, no action is taken. Simply reading the title is sufficient for first reading. So item C, first reading of ordinance 2024-17, an ordinance pursuant to Title 12, Chapter 44 of the Code of Laws of South Carolina 1976 as amended, the execution and delivery of a fee in lieu of ad valorem tax agreement by and between Marion County, South Carolina and Ebby Solar LLC and certain affiliates to provide for the fee in lieu of ad valorem tax incentives and certain special source revenue credits, thereby placing the 2021 Ebby Solar fee agreement and authorizing related matters. Item D, first reading of ordinance 2024-18, an ordinance authorizing the enlargement of the joint county industrial park between Dillon, South Carolina and Marion, South Carolina, and other matters related thereto. That's all I have.
Thank you. Item 9, committee reports. So cleaning committee number 1 has nothing before it. Committee number 2,
I have nothing at this time, Mr. Chair.
legal update.
Mr. Chairman, I don't have anything in this section, although I do have the necessity, and it's already on the agenda, this economic development contractual matter. We actually have two items to discuss in executive session.
Good. Miss Judy Elder, Talbot, Bright, Nelly.
It's the red light is on. I think it might be the batteries too. The red light. Yeah, the blue light ain't on.
Red lights on.
There it goes.
Blue light.
Yes, coming.
Good morning. Ms. Jacobs.
Good morning.
My name is Judy Elder. I am the representative of Calvert Wright in Ellington, and I'm here to present to you your final airport layout plan that has been additionally approved by the Federal Aviation Administration. And you should have a copy in your handout. Just to describe to you what an airport layout plan is, the FAA requires that for any project you want to do on an airport, you have to have an approved airport layout plan. And it basically is a plan that lets you know what you'd like to do in your airport for the next 20 years. And it addresses your aviation needs, your environmental needs, your socioeconomic needs. Thanks. Your socioeconomic needs and the financial needs of what will be required for the airport over the next 20 years. This is a copy of the letter of approval, and when they talk about conditional approval, it means that every project that you're about to embark on at the airport, you have to fulfill the environmental requirement under the National Environmental Policy Act, hence the reason for conditional approval. Just to explain to you what your standards are, right now you have a 4,504 foot long runway. However, one of the projects that you just recently completed when we rehabbed your runway will take your runway to 5,000 feet. But right now it's Chevron because according to the FAA, you can't justify having 5,000 feet. That's something that we will be addressing within the next several months for them to remove those chevrons and get your length to 5,000 feet. You're currently classified as an A1 airport, which basically means that your runway is only supposed to be 60 feet wide. Your runway currently is 100 feet wide, and we kept it at 100 feet wide when we did the rehabilitation. And everything else that you need to do, you are in compliance with the FAA requirements. One of the things that we did when we did your airport layout plan was we looked at what your facility requirements are. Right now, you have 13 T hangars. And we do it in 2 5-year phases and then 1 10-year phase. And then we do what we call an ultimate phase. You are going to need more T hangars out there or more hangar types. One of the other things that we looked at was trying to update the amount of corporate hangar space that you will need. Currently, you have a deficit of almost 13,500 square feet of hangars. So that's one of the things that we will talk about in the future, as we go through the slides regarding what we plan to do to try and fix that deficit problem. And you have a surplus of apron space. However, we are going to be talking about building a new terminal and moving it out to a different area. For your first 5 years, and I realize that it says 2023 to 2027, it takes about 2 years to get the FAA to approve your airport layout plan. So this is the first phase. To give you some point of reference, if I can find my notes. Where you see the blue area off to your, what would be your right if you're facing the screen, that's where we're proposing to put new hangars. But if you come back towards the left, your terminal, your existing terminal and your existing hangars is where it's located. What we're proposing is to build a new terminal area at the center of the runway, which would include a new terminal building, a maintenance hangar, and a new apron to be able to maintain the aircraft coming in to use the maintenance hangar and those people coming in to use the terminal. One of the things that it would require would be a new road coming off of Commerce Drive, rather than having aviation users coming in past the jail and the dog pound. We thought it would be nice to have a new gateway coming into Marion County Airport, coming off Commerce Drive and coming through. One of the things that we had discussed with Ms. Chavis and several other folks was, we know that you just purchased that property, and we would like the county to deed over, because FAA requires that the airport own the property. Even though Marion County owns property, but deed it over to be complete just for aviation use. of about 27 acres. Moving on to phase 2. As you can see, we will have removed the chevrons at the end of runway 4, which is right here. And we will put in a parallel taxiway. And then you will end up building more hangars in this area. What we plan to do once you have a new terminal is that the old terminal right here would be used as a flight school. Moving on to phase 3, hopefully you increase your hangars, your apron space right here to accommodate more users coming into the airport as transients. And then in the future, which is past the 20 years, we're looking to develop this area here for more hangars and more T hangars and more hangars. All total, the engineer's estimate is right here for the first phase, which is the first 5 years, we're looking at 20 million. For the second phase, we're looking at 12. For the third phase, we're looking at 1.9 for a total of 34.1 million over the next 20 years. Just as an aside, that is 2024 dollars. These would have to be escalated as the years go by. So what we have been talking about for your first phase. And we're looking at your phase 1 would be connecting a new apron to the existing runway, building a new terminal, building a maintenance hangar with parking areas, a new road coming in, and possibly an access road coming off of Guyton. After discussions with Mr. Taylor and Ms. Chavis, we came up with 3 different pots of potential funding. One would be the FAA. And I will tell you that for the next 2 years, because of the reauthorization bill that just came down from Washington, and rather than having a 90% eligibility, you're going to have a 95% eligibility for 2025 and 2026 from the FAA, which means that the county is responsible for the remaining 5%, of which South Carolina Aeronautics Commission would contribute 2.5%, and then the county would be on the hook for 2.5%. FAA has certain rules. They will not build your new terminal building. However, they will do the site development. So they will do everything from the ground down. Anything from the ground up will be the responsibility of the county, and there will be participation from the South Carolina Aeronautics Commission. We're talking about the portion of the access road that comes from where we draw the property line to come in. FAA will pay for that. The maintenance hangar is the same thing as a terminal. FAA will not pay for what they consider revenue generating projects. They will, however, pay for the site development for everything from the ground down. One of the conversations that we had with Ms. Chavis and Mr. Taylor and your economic development folks was that we could possibly talk to the Department of Commerce to build the new access road coming in off of Commerce Drive down towards the airport, and also talk to your county transportation committee to paving the road coming off of Guyton Trust. That's an option, and that's something that, and we call it the Guyton Lane extension for lack of a better term right now. We probably name it something else, but for right now, that's what we're calling it. That's something that we will have to just move forward with to discuss both with your county transportation committee and the Department of Commerce and the FAA. The estimate that we have is, this is the biggest pot of money. Now, I will tell you that there are other funding sources that we can look at for your terminal building. One of the things that we had talked about regarding your terminal building is that to have economic development in there, they would be responsible for their portion of the construction of that portion of the terminal building. In speaking with Mr. Taylor, we were talking about possibly putting a restaurant in there, having a diner style type restaurant. All of this still needs to be flushed out and talked about. I will tell you that South Carolina Aeronautics Commission will participate 50% up to $500,000. So if you had $1 million terminal, they would participate $500,000. If you had less than $1 million terminal, they would do 50%. We do know that we have other funding options that we can look at with this regarding your state legislature, regarding USDA. Those are things that we would have to look at and determine based on the size of your terminals. Right now, we're looking at a very large terminal. We've got and all we're doing right now is This is a preliminary layout of what we think your terminal will look like. So everything in the, if you imagine that this is where your apron is, the aircraft come in, everything in this current piece right here would be all related to aviation. Everything back here would be economic development. This is where you would come in from Commerce or Guyton Lane to come in. Then you'd have a hallway taking you down into the restaurant where the kitchen is. We contacted our architects that we work with. They have done many terminals, and this is their first blush of this. It'll be a one-story terminal. So this is the elevation that it would look like. And this is about 10,000 square feet. We can, this is not set in stone. This is just to give you an idea of what it could potentially look like. I already have buy-in from Mr. Taylor. He loves it, and everybody else that has seen it likes it, but it's something that we will need to work with and discuss. We'd like to keep it one story so we don't have to deal with the ADA issues of having an elevator because they're expensive, making sure that the stairs work and everything else. So keeping it one story kind of makes everybody's life. We are in the process right. We are in the process of, it's okay. We're in the process right now of doing your capital improvement plan. It will be submitted to the FAA by December 4th. We will put in an application probably to start with your apron and your taxi lane to give you access, and then we will go from there. It's been a long 18 months doing this. We've had a lot of input from both Mr. Taylor and Ms. Chavis and other members of the community, and we're very proud of what has been happening out there for the last year. And with that, I'm going to ask Mr. Taylor to come up and brief you on everything that's going on because he's there daily. I'm not there daily.
I'll keep it short.
Brief, very brief.
As you know, just some of the things that we put in place and for down the road. We're requesting a generator, 50K, to put at the airport. It's never had one. The reason for that, Marion County would be designated as an emergency in case of a disaster or hurricane or anything of that sort. Our airport would be the designated airport to service across the lines of North Carolina, Dillon County, lower part of America, or Marlboro County coming this way, the west side, and into Florence County. By being able to fuel everything, you have the helicopter out there, medevac for patients. So all of our airport will be functional. As of now, if we lose power, we can't pump fuel. We can't be of any service to anybody. So I thought that was important. So I'm working on implementing that. Applied for the grant through the South Carolina Aeronautics Commission. And that would be a benefit to us. Other things, you know, that y'all have been out there seeing, we have a new sign, Phillips 66, one never has been there. It's $14,000 sign with no cost to the county. The county did provide the aircraft carrier. We've used it twice, but has to move the big airplanes because we do have corporate airplanes coming in. We've been fortunate in having a G12 out there that everybody's seen. When he's been 3 times, he's bought $5,000 worth of fuel every time he's come. And that's a plus for us. Plus, we're getting traffic from New York. I'm just gonna say from the top part of the United States all the way down to the bottom part, back and forth. We're having more traffic than we've ever had. We've increased fuel sales. I won't say 50%, but we're close to that from what it was in the past. The airport's moving forward. We've had 91 people that's lived in this county all their life, 25 years plus. That's never been down Airport Road. And they're coming now to see what's going on. That's a plus for the community because they own the airport. They pay tax. So I appreciate y'all working with us. And I just hope that we can move this forward. I'm good at finding money, so whatever we need to find additionally, I'll hunt it down. That's all. Anybody got any questions?
First thing that popped out at me was this funding, phase 1, the estimated cost. It's got local Marion County, the 12,900,000. Have you got any plans? Have you got an update on That's where she comes in.
That's her part. We talked about several things, maybe that need to help that. I have some additional funds. I don't want to, I don't want to put it out at this time.
We have discussed, and I will discuss it with council in executive session about some of the projects that we want to put forward with our capital sales tax as we have done in the past. So that's just a small portion of what will be contributed to the total.
And the reason I said that, that's the first phase, because I saw in your building, we talked about a lot of amenities, the restaurant and a lot of things.
All that's revenue generated again.
Yeah, well, and the only reason I said that is if we don't have all the money up front, that this structure could be built to where we could add on. Everything would be applicable to where we could add on in the future. Let's say we did come up with additional monies and things that would benefit the county.
Well, one thing that we're saying, this building plan is a preliminary.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be the 10,000. Maybe we start with 5,000, you know, and grow that. In addition to one of the funding sources on top of the capital sales, I mean, we have other economic development projects that are in the pipeline that would help to go towards this.
Well, I love everything about it. Everything about it. The only question is maybe making sure that we got the funding when we start and have
I'll be
plans.
working on it.
Oh, I know that. I know you've been working on it. But now there might be some possibility of state funds when our senator gets back to Columbia.
Always. And he knows not what call him.
Yeah,
That's a given.
well, good.
So, and I think between Senator and myself, we can find some money. Anything else?
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Item 12, Bishop Michael A. Blue, Chairman of Marion County Long-Term Recovery.
Members of the board and to administrator, to senator, to all of you, to our fellow citizens. It's an honor for me to stand before you, and the purpose is very simple. The Marion County Long-Term Recovery Group is a grassroots organization that began as the extension of Marion County Disaster Relief Committee. And the Disaster Relief Committee began in response to Hurricane Matthew in October of 2016. We became formally the Long-Term Recovery Group in 2018. And since that time, much has taken place, and we are so pleased for the ongoing support that we have had from this county and from this county's government from the very beginning. Even though the Long-Term Recovery Group is not a government entity or a formal entity in that sense, we have been undergirded. And I think that based on what I've learned about other long-term recovery groups in the region, including some that used to exist and that no longer exist, that we've received a partnership through our county that virtually no other has received. And so we want to say thank you to all of you who have served in the past, and those who have served in the past, and those who are presently serving. We thank you for your embrace of the Marion County Long-Term Recovery Group, with the most recent iteration continuing to be allowing us to be housed here. And being housed here, we are able to engage in case management and intake of the citizens who come among us and who share their needs. with us, and we attempt to respond to those needs. We have Miss Linda Phillips, who serves as the director for our day-to-day activities. And I'm asking that she would come at this time and take us through a very brief PowerPoint presentation. And I'm in support, but she's the one who is fueling this particular element. And so we just want to say thank you. We have a number of our volunteers that are here, and they're just a sampling of the widespread group of men and women who give of themselves and of their time and of their talents day after week after month after year. May we ask them to stand, please? Well, you can tell who we are by our colors. But, and I have one too. I just didn't wear it today. Okay, so if you will, let's receive Ms. Linda Phillips.
Thank you, Bishop Blue. And again, thanks to the council. I'm not going to repeat what he said because we are all feeling the same thing, the same things. What I want to start off with, we do have a presentation to make, and he's already mentioned the purpose a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and read it to you again. Marion County Long-Term Recovery Group is a nonprofit organization whose purpose is to provide recovery services to individuals and families affected by a natural or man-made disaster, unmet needs in the Marion County community, with the intent of persons or families obtaining safe, secure, and sanitary living conditions. Marion County Long-Term Recovery provides services regardless of the individual race, national origin, color, sexual orientation, disability, familial status, or religious preferences. The organization's goal is to see all of our fellow residents fully recover from a disaster or an unmet need for a stable environment and lifestyle. Now, our organization structure is, we have 5 board members, 4 volunteer staff members that work here. The staff members are working right here from this building. And we thank the administrator for that space. Bishop has already mentioned that. And we have 23 care centers. The care centers are located out into the community. Now, I'm going to give you a list of those later. We have our board of directors, Bishop Michael Blue, board chair, Dr. Candace Bethay, assistant board chair person, Oglarita White, board member, grant writer. We have 2 new board members. Patrice D. Holmes, board member, she's one of our new ones, grant writer, and Mayor Robert Woodbury, board member. And we thank our new board members for joining us. The Marion County staff, Marion County long-term staff, like Bishop Blue said, I am the executive director, whatever, and Diana Owens, financial officer and secretary, Gwendolyn White, intake manager, Roosevelt Campbell, volunteer coordinator, and Patrice Holmes, as I said earlier, grant writer. That is the staff that you will see here at this building on a regular basis. Now, Marion County Marion County Long-Term Recovery, let me point this out because we are so excited about this, has received a newly certified Community Development Corporation, what we call CDC. And this is a great achievement, and it started through our senator. We have received this through the help, the encouragement of our Senator Williams, and we thank him for that. So the things that we're doing right now, we're looking forward with this CDC to do and serve more of our citizens in a greater capacity. The Marion County Volunteer Center, here's a list of up there, and if anybody ever want a list, we'll be glad to share this list with you. We have partners. a list of our partners. We'll also be glad to share our partners with you. And these are some past partners, present partners. And even though you may see, for example, HTC, Duke Energy, these are partners that are donating funds to us. It's not like thousands and hundreds of well, it's thousands, but it's not hundreds of thousands, but they do donate funds to us that we may be able to help some of the elderly, the disabled, and low-income families with utility bills, with paying mortgages and rents. We help them do with some of these funds. The larger funds we help with home repairs. And I'm going to go to our annual income. Like Bishop Blue said, we started in 2017. So this is about like how many years? 8, 9 years income right here is that we've received over the years. You see what it is, 2 million, I don't want to say it wrong, $62,468. And with the income that we receive, we use it. We use it for the citizens of your county. And we thank the council for supporting us on this too. We have homes, new homes. We started out with building new homes and repairs. And you can see what we received for the new homes and for the repairs over the year's time, and utilities and mortgages and mortgage system and food supply. A lot of these funds are coming through FEMA. We're getting these are federal funds that they give to us to help with assisting the families in that way. And I've got the second flyer will talk, the next slide will talk about FEMA, but I want to continue going with the COVID gift cards. We have, at the time, whenever everything was closed down because of COVID, we were offered gift cards through United Way to encourage individuals to go and take the COVID shot. As you can see, the rest of the income, the costs. Now, with the Marion County FEMA, we have what Marion County has, and I think you may already know. You have a Marion County FEMA board, not a Marion County Long-Term Recovery FEMA board, but a Marion County FEMA board. Marion County Long-Term Recovery has applied to be part of the FEMA funds. So when these FEMA funds come in, we use these funds, and you can see on this slide, $123,000 divided among LROs. LROs are local agencies. When we ask for the funds and we give them a list of names that can help share the funds in helping, because we want to get everybody in all over the county, sellers, range everywhere. So we give funds to local residents, local recipients, which is local organizations that are nonprofit, that has been approved through FEMA. We divide these funds up with them. And we have had up to 7 different organizations that we give funds to through FEMA. Now, with Marion County Long-Term Recovery only, we've received $49,500 over the years. And with the LORs and Marion County Long-Term Recovery and being included, we received $73,500. And as you can see, with Marion County Long-Term Recovery funds, I'm only counting the funds that we use. We serve 247 families, and it's broken down in there about utilities, rents, and food services. The next slide is when we started off, we were building homes, and that's what we want to get back to doing again. I think that's what the senator told us. We want to get back to doing that again, building homes. And these are slides where you see where a house was torn down and a new home built. The next slide, we received funds from the state office. And I just have to say it, I have to thank Senator Williams again for going to the state as often as he can to get funds for these citizens in Marion County. We have a caseload of maybe from 500 to 600 individuals, families right now that need a roof, HVAC, windows, floors. They need help. And they're coming to Marion County Long-Term Recovery for help. Senator Williams goes to the state, requests help, or make them give it to us one. I don't know what he does when he goes up there. Anyway, we get some funds and we help as many citizens as we possibly can help. And that's throughout the county. We also participate in giveaways. This is a group, a food drive. We have food drives, and this is pictures of food drive, and you can see our staff. This was maybe some years ago. We have our staff, and we do have a little bit change in the staff right now, but we're still working as Marion County Long-Term Recovery. Next slide. Care Center volunteers. Try to get as many volunteers as we possibly can. But so we have more than this. Like I told you, we have 23 locations. Each location may have at least 5 individuals. So when we multiply 23 times 5, you know what we get. So that's all volunteers that come out to assist us in anything we have to do. Also, these volunteers assist us with the needs who need, they get the information to us about individuals that need a roof, need a floor, and then those individuals come in, complete an application, we take them through the process and try to help them as much as we can. Now, I'm going to ask Diana Owens to come and share maybe 1, 2 letters, I don't know how many she's got, that we have received. We constantly receive letters from individuals that we help, citizens that we help. We give these letters to the senator, so the senator can take them to the state sees that what we're doing. Everybody is so thankful that you are allowing us to serve them in this capacity because they can't afford to do it themselves. Okay,
thank you. Good morning. One of our letters, long-term recovery. The purpose of this letter is to express my gratitude for your assistance with the replacement of my HVAC unit. I would like to thank everyone who played a part in making this a reality. This is truly a blessing. I do not know what I would have done without your service. I pray that the unit will serve my family for many years. Thank you again for your service. Sincerely, Mr. James Robert. To long-term recovery, I just wanted to thank you for the work that you did on replacing my roof. Thanks to everybody that helped me with the application and the ones that helped me getting all the paperwork in place. Thank you, Ms. Phillips and the contractor. Thanks to the workers also that replaced the roof. Everything was done in a timely fashion, and I really appreciate all of you. You are doing a good job for people who are on a low income budget. Again, I would like to say thank you, and may God continue to bless all of you. Thank you.
And I'm just going to mention also that whenever we do any building, any repairs, we do have certified state approved construction operators doing it. Now, the last I've got to say today is for more information, we do have a website. It's up there. We'll be glad for you to go and visit our website. And I just want to say thank you for the Marion County Council, our senator, and everyone else. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Thank you, Ms. Holmes. And I would just like to close by saying the long-term recovery group does have the RMCLTRG in our name, but the R, just as in the state and in the nation, is not just recovery, but also resilience, because much of what this group does is not only repair and rebuild homes and give food and other commodities. But we also sponsor events designed to empower workforce development, hiring, preparation for home ownership. So there is a plethora and a wide and broad spectrum of what it is that we have as a vision. It is not merely to try to patch up something that took place, but to actually build people and build their sense of purpose, their sense of possibility, so that whether it is a physical storm or whether it is an emotional or other kind of storm, that they will be able to weather that storm and not only survive, but thrive. And so you representing our county, we are not funded directly by anybody. We get pieces from here and there. You heard how the senator and the state through the senator has been a benefactor, but we don't have any steady stream of income that we depend upon. We grant here, donation there, and we appreciate all of it. But we need you to know that you are helping to provide hope, to provide help, to provide a sense of dignity to people who many times don't have it. So thank you so much. God bless all of us.
Thank you. Marion County is indeed lucky to have y'all, and we appreciate everything that you do. So thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Floyd.
I'd like to say one thing. I've heard about the recovery organization, but now you see it. And I wish y'all had been coming, because now this is a blessing. These people, I don't know, it's got to be a God thing, and I know Pastor Blue there is leading that organization. But for you to get that many people committed to going out and helping is a miracle. That's wonderful. We appreciate what y'all do.
Anybody else? Thank y'all again. Item 13, administrative update.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of council, those of you who are in attendance today. First, like to thank Long-Term Recovery, Marion County Long-Term Recovery, for all that you do for our county. You are like an extension, a family extension here. So you are welcome, always welcome here, always a part of what we do here in the county. So thank you for what you do. I would also like to thank some of my department heads that are here this morning, Magistrate's Office, Sheriff's Department, Business and Licensing Administration and Finance, also the airport. Thank you all for being here. I always encourage my directors and department leads to come when they can to know what's going on in the county. So I thank you for being here. Just have a few brief updates. The Marion Museum needs at least one member from each district to serve on the museum board. So if we need two, but if we can at least get one member from each district to serve on the museum board. And if you have those names, you can give those names to myself or Miss Sabrina. In addition, the beautification board, we also still need at least one person from each district for the beautification board. I would like to ask council's approval for 2 timber sales. We have the Williamson tract, which sold at $110,000, and the airport tract at $39,000. So I would like to ask council's approval, and that was to Charles Ingram Timber.
So move. Second.
Motion second, discussion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. The ayes have it.
Thank you, council. Our landfill for the month of October, our sales were at $31,765. And that was for the month of October. For our shelter, our animal shelter update, our building is almost complete. The electrical is being done right now. The floors are being coated with epoxy, and the gates will be delivered around mid-December. So we hope to be in operation by Christmas with our new facility. Lastly, our EOC update. So the Marion County Management, Emergency Management will be hosting a ChemPAC tabletop exercise. And what a KIMPAC is a program that is a national volunteer program overseen by the Administration for Strategic Preparedness and Response to strategic national stockpile as necessary function for the national defense against terrorism. Marion County was chosen to host this event. This event will take place tomorrow here in the county with the local, state, and federal partners. This exercise will train our first responders on how to use the KIMPAC in the event of some type of terrorism or emergency. This will make us more of a mutual aid partner for the state, so we are able to give more help to those in need. This is a great opportunity for the growth of Marion County. So again, we'll have state and local officials here for that event. And that will be tomorrow here in the council chambers. That is all the updates that I have. Thank you.
Ask if you would notify the council members that don't have their board members for the museum and beautification committee.
Yes, sir.
And out of this $31,755 revenue from the landfill, what you got an idea what the expenses were?
I can provide that report for you. I did not just recorded the revenue, but I do have an expense report that I can provide for you at our next meeting.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Requests and comments from council. Mr. Cheney.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, as we remember, Deputy Mike Latu, he lost his life in the line of duty and on December 19th. And this coming December 19th will be his 5th anniversary. And I talked with the sheriff, and the sheriff and his deputies would like to make December 19th Mike Latu Day. And we're asking the board to pass a proclamation for December 19th for Deputy Mike Latu.
So move. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. The ayes have it.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else?
Yes, I have a couple of comments. Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to make a couple of comments. One is for the public's knowledge on the history of multi-county business parks. In 1988, the voters of South Carolina approved an amendment to the Constitution allowing the creation of multi-county business parks. In that legislation, and later as the Supreme Court clarified in 2001, the county has the sole purpose of determining how the revenues would be distributed, because the purpose of creating the multi-county business park was to, quote, help rural counties. And so when we go forward in the next couple of weeks and months, we may hear some pushback about what we've decided, but what we've decided has been decided in what's the best interest of Marion County. And so I want to make sure everyone is clear on that we are acting within the letter and the spirit of the law in taking these actions. Secondly, I just wanted to ask the administrator, have we made any movement on looking at creating a hazmat task force?
We spoke about, I spoke with my emergency management director. That was already in the works. I know you mentioned it last meeting. He's been in conversations with the municipalities about that. And there are some efforts, we're making efforts to pull together that type of task force. Once we pull it together, what we want to see is a whole wide Marion County to include our municipalities so that we can be more effective on a state level. So yes, we've been in talks about that prior to you mentioning it.
Thank you. I have a concern about the parking at the Centenary Community Park. And we need to figure out how can we zone off a certain area for parking so that people are not parking beside the play area. They're parking on the septic tank and drain lines from the volunteer fire department. And so some concerns have been raised about people just parking on that little hill as opposed to parking in front of the building. So I don't know how we can address that of putting up some signage or putting up something to keep people from parking on that little section where the septic tank and the drain lines are.
What we can do, I'll get with the senator and our building official, and we'll ride out there and identify where we can make some parking and move forward with that.
Thank you. As we move forward with some of the updates that we're having at the Safford Center, I think we're going to need some more signage to indicate what's being offered out there, as well as updating the sign at the park. I mean, it's pretty much bleached out from the sun. There's no writing on the big signage that we have up there.
Yes, sir. There are actually a number of signs across the county at different parks that we've identified that need to be replaced. So that will be a part of that.
Thank you. Made a trip over to the health department facility. Those bathrooms look like they have not been updated since it was initially constructed. There's rust around some of the sinks. I think we need to look at moving forward to updating.
Where's that?
Over at the health department facility down on.
Airport?
Yes.
Okay.
And last but not least, I want to congratulate Senator Williams. Job well done, sir. We appreciate everything that you do, that you've done, and that you will continue to do for the citizens in your district, and as well as the citizens of Marion County. And I'd love to hear any kind of comments or reflections that you have, if you don't mind sharing.
I don't think we have enough time. No, thank you, Councilman Rogers, for that congratulatory sentiment. Look, I love this county, you know, I think we're on the brink of greatness here in Marion County. We have a lot of exciting things going on in Marion County in terms of economic development that we are aware of. As I tell people all the time, Rome wasn't built in a day. You know, and we have to be patient. We had to start from ground zero, believe it or not, due to all the industry closure here in Marion County, starting with Russell Stover Candy. Everybody remember that kind of was that snowball effect, and all the other industries started closing. And so we had to start from ground zero. And where do we start? We had to start with changing the culture. And how do you change the culture? The mindset. And that's not always easy. That is very challenging, but I think we've made progress. You know, people like to ask about when are you bringing jobs here? When someone asks that question, I know they're not in tune as to what's going on, because there are jobs, they're just in a different form. The jobs are more in skilled in nature. And it's no more than cut and sew and hands-on type jobs, but manufacturing jobs are coming back to the US and to South Carolina. They're more technology driven. So that's why we were able to put $1 million into Florence Darlington Tech budget to do a feasibility study to build a workforce training facility here in Marion County, so we can train our own workforce. And we're talking about those top jobs, CDL, welding, electrical, plumbing. That's where the jobs are. And we're talking about high paying jobs. And we're also talking about entrepreneurship, where you can start your own electrical business, your own plumbing business, your own welding business. I know we all have to call the plumber occasionally or the electrician, but we know what that price tag is like. So that's where we are: phlebotomy, CDL, welding, electrical, whatever. And so they have just about completed that feasibility study. Then they will present that to the stakeholders, council, and other stakeholders in the county. And then we will go back to Columbia and we will appropriate the funds to build a first-class workforce training facility here in Marion, so we can train our own workforce. Opportunity to be here We can't make people prepare, take advantage of the opportunity, but we will provide the opportunity for our citizens, because we want to keep our citizens here, especially our young people. We hate to see them migrate other places when they have those talents that we could use right here in our own community. And that's what we want to do, and we will provide that opportunity. We have things going on that will be a true game changer for this county. You won't sit tight and buckle your seatbelts. Thank you.
We have a need for an executive session for contractual and personnel.
Yes, sir. Economic development and
Economic
contractual.
development.
Yes, sir.
Motion second, any discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. The ayes have it. We appreciate y'all. We went in executive session for industrial development and a contractual matter. No action was taken. We need to come out of executive session. Go back in open session.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise, the ayes have it. We're now in open session. What I hear for council?
Move adjourned.